The fourth CEBL season is set to tip off, and here to talk all about it is Sean Woodley, host of CEBL Weekly and the play-by-play voice. Sean, how are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic, Vivek. Thanks so much for having me, man.
So let's get into it. Off the top, we have Xavier Moon, who has left the Edmonton Stingers. Does that make the pool wide open in terms of who we might see emerge at the top?
Yeah, man, the loss of Xavier Moon can't be understated. And look, it's for a good reason, right? Like, he went and got himself an NBA contract with the Los Angeles Clippers, based in large part on the strength of his work in the CEBL over the last 3 seasons. He's been the face of the league. He's the only MVP the league has ever known. So there's very clearly a vacuum for talent at the top of the league. But the good thing is that there's lots of guys who can fill in that space, and some, new imports coming into the league. Obviously have Canadians who have been around the league and kind of know the waters as well. And it's not just Moon that, went to the NBA and got a deal. Lindell Wigginton was the runner-up for MVP last season and the outstanding Canadian in the league as well. And he went and got himself a deal with the Milwaukee Bucks. So really a wide open field. I can't wait to see how it's all going to play out. I've gone through the rosters, 10, 15 different times in my head, and I really can't figure out who I should be putting at the top of my preseason power rankings.
Well, you love to see the CEBL creating NBA opportunities, but with Moon gone, with Wigginton gone, and you going through all those rosters, do you have any early favorites or of new faces that might be in the MVP conversation?
Yeah, so I have a couple returning guys who come to mind. First off, I think Cat Barber has to be your preseason favorite to be the MVP. He played for the Guelph Nighthawks last season, went down, got into 3 NBA games, including the Atlanta Hawks Christmas Day game down in Atlanta this season. And then he went on and became a second-team All-Star in the G League this season. He has been a great performer wherever he's played. Otherwise, there's a couple Canadians, I think, who are pretty interesting. Jordan Baker out in Edmonton, he's going to be the guy now with no Xavier Moon on that Stingers team. Baker has been a perennial contender for Canadian of the Year. He's been one of the best players in the CEBL and has been a real champion of the league. And I think as sort of a post-creator initiator for that Stingers team, filling in a lot of the gaps that Moon leaves behind, I think he could put up some crazy numbers this season and really put together his best CEBL campaign yet. And then I'm looking out at a recent signing out in Fraser Valley with Kadre Gray, who played for Ottawa last season, averaged about 15.6 boards and 5 assists. And of course, he's known for his ridiculous collegiate career at Laurentian University, really the most talented and prolific player we've ever seen come through U Sports. And I think, he's now 24 years old. He's got some pro experience under his belt. I could really see Kadre Gray taking off and becoming one of the faces of the CEBL this season.
All right, I like it. Sean coming in hot. Now, when we zoom out and look big picture, you've got Newfoundland, Montreal, Scarborough coming in as the 3 new teams. What do you expect those new markets to bring to the league?
I mean, first of all, I think the best part of it is that it really is a nationwide league now, right? It was very clustered to begin. 3 of the teams are in the, Golden Horseshoe area, right? And it's really expanded now, and you have markets that are itching to be part of the CEBL. We've seen the success in maybe non-traditional basketball markets like Edmonton, for example. And I really think we could see, Newfoundland playing at Memorial University, Scarborough having its own sort of special team for that part of the city. And then you've got Montreal, of course, the biggest market now in the CEBL, but that is a basketball hotbed right now. We've seen the number of guys coming out of there to the NBA, from Kem Birch, Chris Boucher, Lou Dort. That's just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to the talent out there. And a lot of the guys on that team are Quebec born and bred. I just think it's fantastic to see this across the board representation of Canada in the league. As far as the on-court product, it's kind of exciting. I have no idea what to expect. The beauty of the CEBL is that you bring all of these guys with disparate stories together, stick them onto a team. You never know if it's going to translate into something successful.
Now, we talked about the new teams, but when you look across the teams that are there, for the most part, whether it's the front office, whether it's the coaches on the bench, there's a lot of continuity. How do you think that's going to impact how this season plays out?
Well, we've talked about it, right, Vivek? There's a lot of turnover this season. There's plenty of returning players, but there's so many new faces. And I think what's really helpful for teams like Hamilton, for teams like Edmonton, you've got, of course, Kyle Julius has been the GM for a couple seasons out there in Fraser Valley now. Niagara's had the same front office staff for a long time. Ottawa as well with our pal Javon Shepard, that guy. It's a really, really cool thing to see. Even with the player and roster churn, you have similar philosophies. You have coaches who have been able to put in systems and know, all right, these guys are coming in. This is how we play basketball here. Let's figure it out. Charles Kissy is another great example in Guelph for, again, a really, really loaded Guelph Nighthawks team. I think because of the roster churn, it's so important to have that continuity in the front office. So it's not just like you're throwing a whole bunch of stuff at the wall every single year and hoping to see what sticks. At least there's some proof of concept for these teams that, yeah, they're welcoming in new guys. They might have lost star players, but the systems are in place to have the new guys come in and sort of be plug and play and, find the same success they've had in recent seasons.
Yeah, Javon, we are going to be watching very, very closely. We'll see how that culture holds up. But Sean, thank you so much for taking the time. The CEBL is here. Can't wait to get to it. Remember, again, Wednesday, May 25th, you've got 69 days, you've got 100 games coming at you.